I need it so bad.
It's not just a hobby. It's not just something we do on weekends. It's how we live every day.
Can we go out and play?
I needed to try. Needed to fall. I needed your love. I'm burning away. I need never get old.
There's still a few things Americans can agree on. The importance of speed, hard work, and the great outdoors. So we built a future for each of them. We electrified the Mustang and engineered it to get from 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Put a hybrid engine in the all-new F-150 that works as hard as it does smart. Then reimagined the Bronco as an off-roading, high-performance wild animal. This is the future we're building, and we're building it today.
Over 25 years of off-road racing dominance. Proprietary patented race technology. Proudly made in the USA. Unparalleled customer service and support. The choice of champions. King Shocks. The leader in off-road shock technology.
So King of the Hammers, it's the toughest one-day race in the world as far as I'm concerned.
When you need your winch, that's the only thing that matters. It's about getting to the finish line first. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Welcome, world, to the 2021 Throttled Down Customs Big Sky 200. I am Miles Hasselquist. Alongside me, we have Michael Adams. Everybody knows him as Grizz.
How's it going?
I'm doing good, buddy. I hope you are. You guys have been busy all week. You know, you've been out here for a month setting everything up. We did qualifying yesterday. Everything went extremely smooth. We had a lot of fun with it. And this morning, give us a little rundown on how we're going to start out the day.
We're going to start out today with our youth and our 1600 class. Nice, easy start to this morning. They're doing a smaller loop, so give them a chance to race and run the smaller machines out there.
And then right around 10 o'clock, we'll be shipping out the bigger classes, and that'll be over a 40-mile loop. They'll be doing, the stock class guys will be doing 3 laps. The big cars will be doing 4 laps, so it's going to be a lot of racing action out there. So the smaller class of the youth and the 1600s, they'll be racing for an hour, hour and a half or so?
Yeah, probably about an hour, hour and a half. They're doing 2 laps around this smaller track.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got, I think, roughly 7 in the youth class, or 7 in the youth and the 1600 class.
Yes.
Looks like we have Tyler Leach.
He's in the youth.
Shelby McDonald.
1600.
Lyle Hogue.
1600.
Paul Barron.
1600.
Annalise Zindel.
1600.
Mark King.
1600.
And it looks like somebody may be related to you out there racing.
Yeah, my daughter, Sheridan Adams.
Sheridan Adams.
And I think we're about ready to hit green. They pulled up, as you guys can see there, they pulled up to the start-finish. Right out of the gate's going to be the RS1 driven by Tyler Leach.
And how long is this first loop for this smaller race?
I think it's like about 16 miles.
So just over 15 miles. That's going to be a lot of fun. They'll be racing a couple laps, I assume?
2 laps.
2 laps. So roughly 30, just over 30 miles. And it looks like we are live racing. So Tyler Leach.
Off the gate. Tyler Leach. You guys saw him yesterday. He wanted to run the qualifying course, so he ran the qualifying course. I think it was against his uncle and ran a better time than his uncle.
And this same exact machine will be racing later on today, correct?
Yes, this afternoon.
I think they take off at 10, so this machine's going to be it's going to be back to back to back. It's going to be a lot of beating on that little RS1, but they'll have a lot of fun with it. So first off the line is Tyler Leach.
Next will be Shelby McDonald.
Number 1620.
That used to be Dean Adams' car. My father used to race that. Getting a little older, had a couple surgeries, so he passed it down to Shelby and got her and her sister in that car. Usually they race in the comp class, but haven't got the parts and got it back together yet, so they're running this.
And again, if you're just joining in, we thoroughly appreciate it. Again, I'm Miles. I'm with Grizz. We'll be with you off and on all day long. This race is located just north of Billings outside of Broadview, Montana.
And Shelby's off.
Shelby's out.
She had a ton of issues with it yesterday in pre-run. Lost the air cleaner tube, then got it back and had an electrical issue, couldn't get her started. Got that all fixed, and then they got the airbox issue fixed. So we'll see how she does.
So this is the Ultra4 first race in the Ultra4 North series, and it's a joint race with the Yellowstone Off-Road Racing Series. You guys have been very humble and letting us in. We thoroughly appreciate everything. We've had a lot of fun with it, and I think the race car drivers are having a lot of fun too.
I really enjoy having you guys here. It's been a great time.
Yeah, we raced with you a couple of years ago. It was a non-points race, but this one's a points race, so it's going to I think there's some strategy for our guys for the national points racing here, so it's kind of cool. We got Bailey Cole's on the pole with, what was that, a 3:43 if my
43
memory?
or 46, somewhere
and
right
it was
around
absolutely
there.
smoking.
Lyle's off the start here.
Lyle Hogue, the number
Lyle Hogue,
1611. See the great shot of the Montana drone helping us out.
Lyle's pretty fast in this class. Him and a couple of these others, Annalise and Sheridan, last year pretty much competed all year for the points championship. So there's Sheridan Adams. She is our points champion in this class from last year, so she's trying to defend her title. She didn't have such a great run in PAL. She podiumed, but in third, and had a bunch of issues. So
that's one of your cohorts, Dawn, there with the flag, keeping everybody heading out.
Some of her sponsors are Octane Addiction, PRP, Grandpa Dean. If you look on the side of her thing, he takes and puts that buggy together for her.
And Sheridan Adams out on course, number 1603. And that's a Volkswagen-powered machine, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, 1600 class. We keep it. It's pretty strict on the size and the size of carburetor you can use. So it's a regulated class. You can have a single seat buggy, a 2-seat, an actual bug like you got right there.
Another 1600
that should
car.
Be Paul Barron right there. Yep, in the 461 car. They start to look alike there. There's two of them. They're pretty close.
We'll wait until everybody gets off the line. That's good.
So Paul Barron, number 461, off the line. Got a couple more cars to ship out on this 16-mile lap. These vehicles will be doing 2 laps. That was Travis Walder, our IT guy, walking through, making sure everything's running smooth.
This is Annalise Zendler. She's sponsored by Jim and Tracy's Alignment, J&M Tire, Dirty Diesel, Octane Addiction. You'll see her later today too. She's also running in the pro class.
But in a different vehicle, I assume.
Totally different vehicle. So.
But getting some seat time, checking out the course, doing a little pre-running.
She lost a spindle in pre-run yesterday, so they were up pretty late last night getting that thing back together, and she's off. She is, that is Erin, our timing, that takes care of our timing and all our stuff. That is her daughter.
She's kind of the glue that keeps the Yorta going.
Yes.
I mean, obviously you kind of run it, but she does a lot of behind the scenes and really helps out. So a huge shout out to Erin, and it's cool to see her daughter out there running with us. Up next should be the 9715 of Mark King. So we'll have 7 cars out on course on this 16-mile loop. They will be doing 2 laps total, so just over 30 miles out here in south central Montana.
30 miles in one of those is a little rough.
It's going to be a long day for these these guys and gals. We are at the Old Cow Pie Motor Speedway for the Big Sky 200. We're just outside of Broadview, Montana. This is a 10,000-acre ranch. The landowner Warren lets Yor come out here once a year and run it. So give us a quick rundown on Warren and all that and how that goes, because it's really cool to be able to come out on somebody's ranch out here and run around.
Years ago when we started this, we started with just our POW race and a couple other, and our Columbus race, and we decided we wanted a bigger track and stuff. And one of the guys helping out knows Warren very well. We've hunted this property here for years and years, and Warren was nice enough to let us use some of his old ranch roads and build some new ranch roads to get to new sections of his property, or old sections of his property. And we put this course together. It started way smaller, and it just keeps gaining mileage by the year. We'll add something or move something. So great deal for him. He enjoys it. He sat out there yesterday, watched qualifying, and came up afterwards and was just ecstatic how it went. So really great guy to work with.
And it's really cool to see. This place is very vast. It's huge. You can see the two tracks, so it just looks like it's just wide open pasture racing, but it's not. It's very technical. There's no trees, but it's a tight course. You have to stay on the two track, because if you get off just a little bit, there's lots of rocks, there's lots of G-outs, and you don't want to tear up the ranch, so you stay on there. But it's a very technical course. It's going to be a mental game, and it's just great shots from these live drones. So a huge shout out to Hammer King Productions and Montana Drone. We've got 4 drones all over this course. They'll be giving you this live action all day long. We have 3 or 4 cameras also, but these drones are going to be really cool to bring you the action. And you can just see how dusty it is out there. We've been fighting dust all week long, but today there isn't a whole lot. So it'll be interesting to see when we start getting into lap traffic, or we're going for passing. And speaking of passing, when you do pass, you have to just keep about 1 car length next to the track, so we're not tearing up the ranch. You can see a lot of power line roads being used.
It looks like that's Tyler Leach right there. He's still on the front section, what we consider the front section of the track here, and he's moving. He's in that RS1. So
yeah, those things are nimble. They're tight. So he'll be putting some time on. I don't see Shelby McDonald coming into screen quite yet. I believe they left in 1-minute increments.
Yes. Yep.
This race is on adjusted time. Later on today, we will have 2 pits. Right now, we just have a hot pit just behind us. But there is a remote pit on the far end of the property for the later races. So right now, we're doing the youth and the 1600 race. It is a 16-mile lap. We're doing a 16-mile loop. We're doing 2 laps. We got to give a huge shout out to Throttle Down Customs for bringing the Big Sky 200 for us. We have to give a huge shout out to Elevated Power Sports, Can-Am, Warren Ketchum, the landowner, Metalworks, Montana Drone Company, DRW Performance, Tractor and Equipment, Jim and Tracy, J&M Tire, Copyright, Boyd's Garage, AJ Diesel, European Porta Pots. Some of the volunteers for Yor to make this happen are Aaron, Grizz, Ethan, Kelsey, just to name a few. So a huge shout out to your whole team for making this happen, because without all those sponsors, we would not be racing here with Yor today.
No, not at all. They're the ones that help bring this all together. So without them, we wouldn't have people out there on the track. We got the local Rimrock 4x4 and Magic City 4x4 clubs here locally. They brought people out and teams out, so they're helping us get this all together. They'll be working the track all day. Earlier in one of the shots, you saw one of them out there, so we got them placed out there where something could go wrong. So, oh, there we got Tyler Leach coming through again. You should be coming back here close to the timing trailer. So when you come out on this front section, you dive out, and as you can see, that's right where that guy's standing.
So the
there.
Start and finish is just to the left of him right now?
So that's the start, and then you come back, you do the front loop, and this is where you drop down and you head over into the yesterday was the qualifying track, so you use part of that track. Where he's going down there, it looks like he's just going. Those are actually big rock drop-offs right through there, so it's not as smooth as he's making it look. When we chase one of those 1600s through there with the very little suspension, it's going to be a a lot different.
And
so.
he's on Warren's driveway right there as he takes off onto the qualifying loop. So this is the same loop we ran yesterday. So this is a 4-mile loop through this pasture. They touch right there just in front of us.
Yep, and they'll only do about half of it, and then they will break. No, they'll come all the way back through. You're right.
For this first race. Later on today, they'll head on to the backside of the ranch. Weather today looks like it should be in the mid-80s, partly cloudy, a little bit of wind. Like I said, we've been fighting wind all weekend long, so everybody was doing their no-wind dance. Well, now we need a little bit of wind. You can see that dust kind of settling in. But Tyler Leach still running strong out front. They did leave in 1-minute increments. This race is on corrected time. So you are racing your own time, but when you see dust, you want to chase it down.
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky. You see dust in front of you, you want to chase it down. If you're in the lead, you're trying to stay on it to make sure nobody catches you. So it's a game you play.
This is the Your class, the Yellowstone Off-Road Racing Series. There's 2 separate classes racing at the same time, the youth class and the 1600. But I believe we only have one youth driver out there on course right now.
Yes, we do. The other youths in his class, between age and experience, jumped up to the next class. So if I remember right, he will be able to jump up next year into the next class. We'd let him get a few years under their belt and a few miles on him and go from there.
We need to give a huge shout out to Hammer King Productions for bringing this live show, and Montana Drones helping us out. So go to ultra4racing.com/live. Go to the King of the Hammers Facebook page. Hit that share button. Use the Instagram, the Ultra4 Instagram. Start a watch party. Use all your hashtags. Share it. We have hashtag Big Sky 200, hashtag Ultra4 Montana, hashtag Ultra4 Racing, and hashtag Your YORR. So share your photos so everybody can check them out.
And that dust is just lingering today. This, without any wind, this could be an interesting full day of racing.
It'll
here.
see how it plays out, especially when we get more cars and faster cars. It's going to be an interesting day of racing. And like I said, right there, that 2-track looks very simple, but there's a lot of rollers out there. There's a lot of G-outs. You have to really pay attention. This is going to be a very mental demanding race.
About every so often you'll hit one of those where the cows make their cow tracks. They're usually a few inches deep, 6 inches deep, and just wide enough to fit a tire in it. That usually gives you a good jaunt and reminder that you need to back off a little bit.
And that's why it's called the Old Cow Pie Motor Speedway. We hit a couple cow pies when we were out pre-running, setting up the internet dishes on the backside of the ranch.
Yeah, you got to tour the whole ranch. What'd you think?
It's amazing. It's huge. Like I said, it's a 10,000-acre ranch out here in southern Montana, just outside of Broadview, Montana. And it's my first time to this part of the world. You know, you see it on TV, and you just can't grasp how big it is out here. It's absolutely amazing. And when the weather's great, it's great. When the weather's bad, it gets ugly in a hurry. There's Tyler still running strong. This is a 16-mile loop. We'll be doing 2 laps in this first race. And then at 10 a.m., we'll be kicking out the 4600 Spider Track stock class, the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle modified class, and the 4900 Can-Am UTV class, along with all of the UTVs for the Yours. How many UTV classes do you have for Your?
We run 3 different classes. So we run the turbo class, the 1000 production class, which would be naturally aspirated, and then the RS1 class.
So
we
we'll
have an outlaw class. Nobody ever enters it, so it's all those guys that wanted to be able to put bigger turbos and stuff like that. So we made a class for them. We just not had anybody in it. So really, the main 3 are those 3 classes.
And these UTVs will be extremely fast on this course because they're tight and nimble. And like I said, there's not really whoops here, but there's a lot of rollers. So those are the backside of the qualifying run.
You can see the cows there in the background. They had to get those off the track. That's why we got a little bit of a late start. All those cows were out on the racetrack. So,
and safety is definitely key with us here in Ultra4 and with Your. So he's going to hit that road crossing and then follow the bottom side of the ridge just below the hot pits.
Yeah, he'll run out in the back and then follow the back half out there.
We had, I believe, 66 cars qualify yesterday. We should have just shy of 80 cars running all day long. Looks like that's Shelby McDonald in the 1620 and that 1600 bug. There's the 1603 of Sheridan Adams. That's Grizz's daughter. Still running strong.
Shelby's running pretty strong there in the 1620 car. She's coming through the lower section. Looks like Sheridan just jumped onto the short course there.
So how much do you have to work on that car, Grizz?
You know, I'm pretty lucky. That car has been pretty bulletproof since we got it, now that I say that. But Grandpa Dean is her main sponsor, and we send that back to Gillette with him down in Wyoming. After every race, he goes through it, both those cars, and then he gets them both ready and gets them back up here over to the race. So our next race, he'll run it over to Sturgis for that.
That's awesome. I mean, that's the whole family affair. That's what it's all about. You know, the whole family comes out and enjoys it. This place is extremely family friendly, spectator friendly, and you guys run a really, really nice organization.
Thanks. That's the key, is just get these kids started, and that's what's going to grow our sport.
Absolutely. That's the future of our sport. And, you know, you're not out here because you have to be here. You're out here because you want to be here. We're here to have fun.
Yep. Sheridan's moving through. She's cutting Shelby, but the way I look at this, I've seen Shelby and I see Sheridan. I do not see Lyle, nor have I seen Lyle come back through. Lyle started right after Shelby.
Yeah, there's lots of wide open spaces out there. But we'll have 4 drones covering this race. This first race is a 16-mile loop. We'll be doing 2 laps, except for Tyler. I think we're going to add a couple laps to him because he's making some pretty good time. And there's a great shot from our aerial drone. We are just on the left side of that ridge. You can see the great dust making its way. And just below that, there's some of the racetrack. So on that far right side, you can see the 2-track out there. We'll be racing out there this afternoon. So that should be Tyler coming through, finishing his first loop, I believe. Can't quite tell what.
Oh, that's Lyle right there.
There's Lyle. We were just talking about him. So Lyle Hogue, number 1611, trying to chase down Shelby McDonald. So did Sheridan get around Lyle?
I'm thinking so, just looking at that.
So there's Tyler Leach.
There's Tyler coming through the start-finish. He just went by us at the start-finish here. So he's got 1 lap under him.
So finishing his first loop, Tyler Leach heading out for another 16-mile lap. If you're just tuning in, we thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you. Ultra4Racing.com/live. This is the Throttle Down Customs Big Sky 200. This is an Ultra4 North series, and it's a joint race with Yellowstone Off-Road Racing. We're right in the middle of the youth and the 1600 race for your So there's Lyle Hogue.
heading back to the back section, so that's the lower section back there. You can see where he came through, went by the water tanks. They'll make a left-hand corner there, and they'll have to do this whole front section. It's front lower section down here.
So Tyler is running in the youth, so his is a little bit shorter even yet?
Yep.
Gotcha.
He cuts straight across on the bottom and doesn't go out as far as the 1600. Well, just got word, Paul out there on the course, Paul Barron just seized a motor, so he's out. He's about 3 miles in the course and seized a motor, so looks like he's going to be out. In the screen there right now, you got Annalise Zindler coming across the bottom there. Trying to see who we have in the corner there. I'm not quite sure who that one is yet. Oh, that's Mark King coming through there in the bottom. Yeah, that's bad luck for Paul there on seizing that engine and being, he looks like he's out of the race.
Yeah, it's never good, but hey, that's part of racing. They'll get it back. They'll get it back to the shop here next week, get it tore down, and get it back going. But yeah, tough break for Paul Barron. That's a great shot of that huge ridge right there. The ridge run along there.
That's that ridge they were running on yesterday
Qualifying.
during qualifying, and they were moving across that ridge.
Yeah, during practice, you took me right to that ridge, and we could oversee and almost see the entire pasture. Amazing place to spectate out here at the old Cow Pie Motor Speedway, just outside of Broadview, Montana.
You'll see he'll be coming up here pretty quick.
So we'll keep the timing as honest as we can. We just have it in-house here. Unlike normal, we have the live timing, but we're using the Yours series. So we'll keep you honest on who's where and what.
Well, we haven't had any of the 1600s, and Tyler's in his own class. So as far as scoring, Tyler's one lap up. He's running a little different course. As soon as the first 1600 comes through here, we'll let you know if anybody advanced or dropped. So
yeah, Grizz has his timing computer right in front of him, so we'll keep you as honest as we can. Again, this is the TDK Big Sky 200. It's a Ultra4 joint race with Yellowstone Off-Road Racing at the Old Cow Pie Motor Speedway. We are right in the middle of the youth and the 1600 class. These are only the Yellowstone Off-Road Racing cars out on course right now. They are doing a 16-mile loop. They're doing 2 laps. I think we're going to make Tyler run an extra lap or 2.
yes, sir, we are. He's putting down some pretty fast times, so he's running an extra one. He's on a different course, so a little bit shorter than these guys, so it'll be real good.
Today's schedule of events. Remember, everything is in Mountain Time Zone. At 10 a.m., we'll be sending out the 4600 Spider Track stock class, the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle modified class, and the 4900 Can-Am UTVs. And then at 4:30 p.m., we'll be sending out the 4,800 cars, the 4,800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class, the 4,400 Unlimited cars, and the Pro class of yours. So that is going to be a lot of fast cars out on course. So we'll have some great, amazing action all day long. We'll have 4 live drones flying the course. This is a 10,000-acre ranch out here just outside of Broadview, Montana. So it's going to be hard to cover everything, but we're going to do our best, and it's absolutely amazing what the Hammer King production crew is pulling off out here.
I was amazed when they came out here and what they had set up. So
yeah, you guys do your own deal, and Montana Drone does an amazing job, but we're just kind of making it bigger.
Yeah, that's some great ideas and the way you guys do it, and Montana Drone is helping you guys and got some airtime out there with their drones. So
yeah, we're actually in the Montana Drone RV calling the shots.
Yes, we are.
So thank you to those guys.
Really nice for us. We're able to sit back and relax, and a nice camper out of the dust for once.
Yeah, yesterday during qualifying, we were not in the camper. We were right at the start-finish down there, and it was dusty. But it was a lot of fun. Bailey Cole set the pole.
Annalise there coming through the last part of the qualifying track, the lower hayfield there, and she should be hitting the back half of the track.
So go to ultra4racing.com/live. Go to the King of the Hammers Facebook. Hit the share button. Start a watch party. Go to the Ultra4 Instagram. Hashtag it up. And what's your YouTube channel, Grizz?
Yellowstone Off-Road Racing.
And we're pushing it to that as well, I believe.
Yes, we are.
So lots of different ways to watch this. And this is going out to all of our social medias. And if you are a premium member, we certainly appreciate everything. You can go back and watch anything from the past. We have driver feature videos, car walkarounds, video walks in case you missed it. You can rewatch any regional race or anything King of the Hammers related if you have some of our premium. Go to ultra4racing.com/ultra4tv to subscribe. We'll be racing with that all season long.
We got Mark King there coming across the bottom there. Got my radios going off in the background and everything else. So
lots of action. He's doing a little bit of race directing, announcing, safety crew.
yeah,
Grizz is doing it all. Helping me in the booth.
Well, we need to give a shout out to our sponsors here. Of course, this is the Throttle Down Custom TDK Big Sky 200. They're the main sponsor of this race here. You'll see them later tonight in the pro truck later this afternoon. They run a pro truck and they'll be running that. They did a heck of a job qualifying yesterday. Also, a big thank you to Elevated Power Sports, our local Can-Am dealer here. They're doing a great job for us. They've been with us for 5 years now. Warren Ketchum, the landowner, once again a big thank you to him. Metalworks, do all our trophies. Do a great job. Montana Drone Company, of course. Looks like Lyle just made his first lap, so he has now jumped up into the leader position in the 1600 class. Also, big thank you to Tractor and Equipment, your local cat dealers servicing Montana, Wyoming, and North Dakota. They got us the blades and sponsored our side of the live footage, so big thank you to them. Jim and Tracy's Alignment, J&M Tire, Copyright, Boyd's Garage, AJ's Diesel, European Porta Pots. Of course, a big thank you to all of our volunteers out there.
Yeah, so please support who supports the sport. Without those people, we would not be racing here today. Looks like Lyle just put down a 28-minute, 29-second lap. So that's pretty respectable. Tyler Leach did a 19-minute, 51-second lap on a little bit shorter of a loop. Speaking of Tyler, there he is on screen once again. He is really moving. Remember, that machine's going to be racing in this next race when we kick off at 10 a.m.
Sorry about that. We had a guy out on the track that went down. They're trying to get him out of there before the next race, so I had to take a break and go give some directions.
Please support.
Yeah, that's a pretty good time for Lyle there at that 28:29. So that's moving right along.
And Dave's checking in. Thank you for tuning in, Ultra4 Racing on our Facebook. Yeah, it's cool to be joined up with Yor. This is just an amazing part of the world. We're at the Old Cow Pie Motor Speedway just outside of Broadview, Montana, north of Billings. So there's Tyler Leach coming across the Rigid Ridge. So Sheridan's coming in to finish her first lap. We'll get a time for her. So Sheridan's time's 30 minutes and 46 seconds. And right behind her is another 1600 bug.
That's Shelby that just came across. She ran a 33-minute lap, so moving pretty good there.
Starting to get some pretty good competition in that 1600 class. Great to see.
Oh, she must have had see she pulled out there. That would be her pit crew / family. They were running over to her, so she must have a little bit of an issue there.
And there's a shot of Tyler Leach. I was mistaken just a moment ago. I do apologize. Again, I am Miles Hasquist alongside with Michael Adams, Grizz himself. Be calling the shots all day long. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it's so great to see all these young females out there racing with us. Great to see that. I mean, that's where our sport is going. Tyler Leach is on that qualifying course from yesterday. He'll be finishing his second lap. I think we're going to have him run maybe 4 laps. We'll see what his times are. But he's running strong. He is racing. He's the only one racing in his class. So getting him some seat time and then give that thing a little check over, splash of gas, and he'll be out on the next race as well. We'll be running all the UTVs, the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class, and the 4600 Spider Track Stock class kicking off at 10 a.m. He's heading out for that little bigger loop following the 1600 cars. Tyler Leach and that single seat RS1 Polaris RZR. What a beautiful shot of the Rigid Ridge. You can see that's the hot pits. So I've got Brent McDonald out here, the parent of Shelby, and you got some kids out on course. How's it feel to have your kids out there racing with your?
It's the best experience they can get. These kids know more shit about all these cars and trucks than most people my age or your age or whatever. So it's pretty damn fun to watch them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And where do you live? You're fairly local here, if I'm not mistaken?
North of Great Falls.
Okay.
We farm north of Great Falls, yeah.
And how long have you been racing with your?
When did it start? Me and Don and Scott Took started this shit, so yeah. Yeah, we've been racing a while.
That's awesome, and it's great to see you bringing your kids in and letting them enjoy it now. You used to race with it too, correct?
Yeah, we did. We ran would be a Class 3 old school Bronco. We're still waiting on pistons. Everything's back ordered and whatnot, but yeah, it is what it is, you know. But it's fun watching the kids. A little nerve wracking. They get a little wound up every now and then, but if they don't get wound up a little bit, shit, you wouldn't be alive, right?
That's exactly right. That's what we're out here to do. We're not out here because we have to be out here. We're out here because we want to be out here. And it's great to see you. You know, your car's not ready, but you're having fun watching your kids race.
Well, thanks to this guy, his dad, Aaron, they're letting the girls race that bug the whole season. That's a huge opportunity for a 15-year-old and 18-year-old, you know.
I mean, watching the youth, that's the future of our sport. So it's great just to have all your guys as a support to put them out there in a car. And you know what the best thing is seat time.
There is no substitute for seat time. They've just got to get some experience.
Now, do you make them get their hands dirty in the garage?
Yes. They can pull a 9-inch out, brake calipers, 35 spline axles, drive shafts like right now. No, they've got it. But they've been doing it since they were that big, you know. Just little buggers, so yeah, they've got it pretty well handled.
That's awesome. So you guys will go in, have dinner, and then head out to the shop and get the race cars back in action, huh?
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. I make the girls go with me every time I work on the truck. Before last year, Shelby spent I think 17 days straight with me getting the truck prepped for this one. And then she was pooped and she was sick of me by then too.
Well, yeah, well, it's just awesome to have your kids out here. You know, you were here when your Yellowstone Off-Road Racing Series started. You're still here watching them go. It's just really amazing to see. And, you know, without your support, they couldn't be out here. And I think they're pushing you also. So it's just great to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. My wife and I both get a little nervous when they're on course, but they do a good job. They're getting seat time. They're going to figure it out. I mean, and they're doing just fine.
And how amazing is this live coverage? It's so cool to have all these multiple drone angles, and the Montana drone along with the Hammer King Productions. It's just so cool what they're able to bring out in the middle of Montana.
It is awesome. I mean, to tell you all the live coverage, and you start watching the followers. So we watched 9 hours of Powell in my shop at home after we got back from Powell, just watching all the races. It's awesome. And this live coverage is supporting what's going on here, because it's just getting more people and more people.
I mean, that's what it's all about. Absolutely. So yeah,
there's only a handful of people that get the opportunity to go race stuff like this. A drag race is 10 seconds or whatever. This stuff is a 4-hour coyote chase with high horsepower stuff.
A 4-hour coyote chase. I love that. This is a sprint endurance. These guys are going out there giving it all. Absolutely. And this race is one of the shorter ones, but they're out there running, and it takes their toll. And like I said, right now you can see it. It looks vast. It looks wide open, but it's super, super technical out there on course.
Parts of it's got a little something for everybody. It's got some wide open stuff where we could hit 115 in the truck, and then there's other stuff that 10 miles an hour is too fast, and you think, boy, I screwed that up, And, there's something for everybody on this place.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Like I said, when I first showed up, it just looked like a 2-track. Looks like just a Sunday drive. And then I went out there, and there are rocks, there are rollers, there's drop-offs, there's washes. Yeah, there's G-outs. It's a cool spot. And you've been racing here for quite a while. So is this one of your favorite race courses, I'd assume?
This is my favorite track, because you get darn near 200 miles in our truck, and we've won it a few times. So yeah, I love this place.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. Looks like we have another car running around. Looks like that's Lyle running strong. Lyle Hogue. Yeah, he's heading down the Warren's driveway as we speak, and they'll be heading out where they were doing the qualifying yesterday. Blows the corner just a tick, but makes her around. All right. Well, I thoroughly appreciate it. Thanks for coming in and having a chat with us, and go check out all the kids and have some fun.
All right. Come over to the trailer. I might even buy you a Miller Lite here a little later.
Sounds like a plan with me. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So there is Tyler Leach. So Tyler Leach looks like he's coming through to finish his second lap out of 4. So
Yeah,
Grizz,
right
give us a
now-
quick rundown on our lap counts with who's where.
Leach just is coming on to his, probably what'll be his final lap. He ran trying to find his time here. This is why we have Erin in timing. She can read this a little bit better than me. Oh, it looked like he ran would have been a 24-minute lap, so he's moving.
He's picking up his pace. He's got the track mentally figured out, and he's running. I just love the dust trails all over this 10,000-acre ranch. And again, a huge shout-out to Warren, the landowner. He lets Yor come out here once a year and run all over his ranch. And I had, bumped into him a couple times, and he's just got the biggest smile, just a good old boy, and he's out here enjoying his time watching everybody else enjoy his ranch.
It's a great time. He's a great guy. He's out here every time we're out here working. He's out here just checking on us, seeing how we're doing. Great time. We go help him brand, so it's always a good time when you get to go down and hang out at a branding. So.
How many head of cattle does he have out here? A bunch.
It's a bunch. I don't know what he's running right now. There's several hundred, probably more than that. I'm not quite sure exactly what he has. So he also leases some of it, so he's got some other people's cattle on here that he leases. So he might only have a few hundred, and then everybody else has a few hundred more. So adds up, he takes care of them, and they just lease them. So his family homesteaded this area, so this is an old homestead right up there on top. The homestead marker's up on top.
So there's 10,000 acres here, but I think his sister has another 10,000. His brother has another 10,000.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know everything on them, if they've sold any since then, but that's how it was all divided up in the family.
But back in the day, 30,000 acres is just absolutely amazing out here in south central Montana. And like I said, this is God's country. It's absolutely beautiful. There's Jason Blanton checking in. It's a super fun track. And Jason, if you don't remember, but a couple years ago, you set the fastest lap out of everybody right around that 48-minute mark. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see if old Bailey or a couple of the other people can beat your time. But Jason, always good to see you. Hey, you didn't make it, but we'll see you at the next race for sure. I'm sure he's all smiles remembering his lap. We were talking about qualifying yesterday, and it was just absolutely amazing. You know, I guessed right around that. Well, Grizz and I both guessed right around that 4-minute mark, and the fast people were there. And then Bailey Cole comes out with that 3:43, shaved, I believe, 17 seconds off of your fastest pro guy.
Yeah,
I mean, just absolutely amazing. So
that was that T1 truck that ran the 4-minute flat. So
the old Potts truck. And there's a lot of 403, 411, 412s. There's a lot of fast people out there, guys and gals.
We're getting some comments asking how we take and if you guys, there's any information that's open invitation they'd have to qualify for. Repeat your question. There's some comments asking about how people enter for the race. Is it open or they have to qualify?
If you ever want to come up here and race with the Yellowstone Off-Road Racing Series, you can just sign up. They do 4 races a season. They do one here, one in Sturgis, one in Powell. Where's the 4th one at?
Columbus, Montana.
And this is a joint race. So we, the Ultra4 North Series is joined up with your Yellowstone Off-Road Racing. So if you ever want to race with Ultra4, go to our website, sign up. Or if you want to race with go to their website. I mean, anybody can race. Just make the class specifications, the safety rules, and come out here racing.
Yep, it's all about fun.
And I think the fastest growing class is UTV. You can literally go to the Can-Am dealership, buy a UTV, put a cage on it, window nets, harnesses, the safety deals, and come out here racing with or Ultra4.
Yes. Great, and that's probably why it's the biggest growing class we have right now.
We have just one class, but has 3 separate classes. So it's going to be a little interesting to keep everything straight, and that's our next race. We'll be racing with the stock and the comps and the modifieds, kicking off at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Looks like Sheridan Adams down there in the 1603 car is coming across the short course. So she's holding it pretty good right now. You can see her bouncing around. Those other side-by-sides and everything you guys watched yesterday made that look way smoother than what it really is.
And there's not a whole lot to it. I mean, that's a solid twin-beam front end, I believe, a Volkswagen 1600cc air-cooled engine, single shock per corner, I assume?
Yeah, single shock restriction in the front. In the rear, you can have bypasses, which she does on that car. Of course, she doesn't weigh but 90 pounds soaking wet, so she bounced around pretty hard in there, and pretty easy, pretty cheap class to get started out in. It's a great class to get started out in. You can get at that, keep it going. Bus transaxle in a lot of them, Volkswagen bus transaxle. So really great first starter class, and it's growing tremendously with us.
I bought a couple dune buggies back, 20 years ago, and I ran them pretty hard, and I had an issue just burning up the motors. Do you guys do anything different about that to keep them cool?
No. We run oil coolers on all of them. Most everything we have out here has oil coolers in them with electric fans on the oil coolers. That's usually the biggest thing, is keeping it cool, especially out here when it starts getting warm. And then everything else seems to hold together pretty good. Single carb. We've tried dual carbs on these things, and it's just...
That's a headache.
It's a headache trying to sync them. So let's go back to single carb, and you're good to go. Looks like Shelby's still going there pretty good after having that car tore apart last night. They must have got her back together. That was her father in here interviewing earlier. We went by their pits last night, and they were all scrambling. Shelby was right in the middle of all of it, redoing that.
I loved how he said, if I'm working on the car, they're working on the car. I mean, that's just so cool. The whole family affair goes out there. So the number 1620 of Shelby McDonald, still running strong. That's on that qualifying section.
Last year, she was in the Bronco. The Bronco ran last year. She was passenger in that car all season last year, and they won the championship.
And if you're just tuning in, we thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you. This is the TDK Big Sky 200. This is a joint race. This is the first race of the Ultra4 North Series. We have joined with the Yellowstone Off-Road Racing Series. Grizz has been helping everything run smooth. He's got a lot of great volunteers. A lot of the local Jeep clubs come out and help. They tooled us around when we were setting up our satellite dishes on the back side of this 10,000-acre ranch owned by Warren. This race is located just north of Billings, just outside of Broadview, Montana. Population here is roughly 200 people. Elevation is roughly 3,900 feet. Later on today, we'll be doing just over a 40-mile loop. The bigger cars will be doing 4 laps. The stock class will be doing 3 laps. So just shy of 200 miles out here in south central Montana. This place is absolutely amazing. Weather should get up to the mid-80s today, just a slight breeze, partly cloudy, but absolutely gorgeous. We were here Wednesday night, and the wind picked up, and it got ugly in a hurry. Thursday was very windy all day long. Sorry, Wednesday was beautiful. Thursday all day long was beautiful, and then Thursday evening a storm rolled through, and the wind just absolutely teared through the pits. And then it was pretty nice for qualifying. Had a nice little breeze. The wind is the racer's friend on race day. There's Sheridan Adams in the 1603 single-seat air-cooled bug. 1,600 cc's.
Let's start getting ready for commercial.
We got to give some of our sponsors some love, so we'll have a little break in the action. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, early risers, self-starters, and seasoned pros. Let's talk business. Hello, heavy lifters, deal seekers, business owners, and one-man crews. Newcomers, landscapers, contractors, and trailblazers. From nice to meet you to nice to see you again. Whether you're buying or renting, new or used, or just looking for parts and service, you're in the right place when you hear hello and welcome to Tractor and Equipment, your local cat dealer.
Welcome back, world, to the TDK Big Sky 200. I'm Miles alongside with Grizz, and it's been one heck of a morning so far, but the action is just getting started. And how cool is that picture-in-picture, Grizz?
That's awesome. We actually have the premium. That's how we watch King of the Hammers this year. So having that picture-in-the-picture is... I just tell Miles how awesome that was. You can have your commercial, but you can still watch some racing. That's the way to go. I would really highly recommend going with the premium package.
You can go to ultra4racing.com/ultra4tv to subscribe. You can get the driver feature videos, car walkarounds, rewatch anything King of the Hammers or any of our regional races.
Yeah, we're learning so much from these guys. This hammer production. I mean, it's great for us.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been with them for 10 years, and I still learn new stuff every single time. And there's just so much behind the scenes with the Hammer King Productions. The Take It Live guys, there's 3 or 4 different teams that come together to put this on. I mean, we've got probably 10, 12 guys here making this live show happen. We've got 2 remote satellites on the backside of this ranch. And then broadband internet, or rural broadband, brought us the internet. And then we shoot it out to the back, shoot it back to the... and then we share it with Montana Drone, and then it's just absolutely amazing how everybody just pulls together and makes it happen. Like I said, we're in the Montana Drone RV calling the shots.
That's Mark King right there. He's still making good time. He's in the lower qualifying section, coming around that. So he had pretty bad luck in PAL. He took off good, was leading a great pace, and I think he lost a spindle in that one, so this is his redemption for him.
We started with 7 cars in this morning's race, but Paul Barron had a motor take out on him, so tough break for him. We still got 6 cars out on course moving along. This is a 16-mile loop. The 1600 class is doing 2 laps. Tyler Leach in the youth class is doing 3 laps. So there's Tyler Leach getting around.
Lyle's going to be first.
Getting around Annalise. Zindel.
Looks like we got Lyle coming in here for the start-finish. He's coming through the pit section right now, the hot pits. He's moving along. You can see everybody's got their pits ready and trying to get that all straightened out there.
And there are no speed limits on this entire course, is there, Grizz?
Nope, none.
So on the hot pitch, you just have to pay attention. Yep. Just hop off where you need to and hop right back on. But Lyle Hogue, number 1611, moving strong. There's one of our Your volunteers making sure everything's going smooth.
Lyle's coming in pretty good. We got that drone chasing him.
And that's the Montana RV, or the Montana Drone RV we're in, just to our left.
Lyle will be getting the checkered flag here right there.
So Lyle Hogue, number 1611, physically finishing first. But remember, this race is on adjusted time. So we'll have to see how it all shakes out, but it's looking good for Lyle Hogue. They took off in 1-minute increments. So where's Shelby McDonald? Where's Sheridan Adams? Where's Annalise Zindel? Where's Mark King? We know Paul Barron is out of the race. But Lyle started behind Shelby, so he's already got her. Where's Sheridan Adams? Where's Annalise Zindel? They took off in 1 minute increments. This race is on adjusted time.
Yes,
and Erin's doing a great job there in timing.
Erin keeps track of that for us, so.
She keeps track of everything for you guys.
Everything.
Including you.
Registration, she does, you name it, she's the one.
And always has a great smile on her face. Sounds like through the PCI race radios we hear Sheridan Adams is missing a wheel.
She's going for it. She's going to try finishing with 3 wheels.
So it must be a front,
it's
because
a front
that
wheel and
solid axle, you can kind of sort of carry a spindle.
Yep, if she just stays on the throttle and it's the correct side, she's just going to stay on it. So maybe we'll get a shot of her coming in. We've had bad spindle luck this last 2 races here. Shelby broke a spindle, Annalise broke a spindle yesterday in pre-run. Looks like Sheridan might have done something close to the same here. You can see Shelby, she's coming on the bottom section, so she's not making too bad a time coming across here. That looks all nice right there, but coming up here in just a little bit, I don't think the drone will be able to go out that far, but there is one huge dip in that track right coming up.
Yeah, there's a bad G out. We came across that when we were pre-running. We have people all over the world tuning in. We have some of our Ultra4 family over in Europe tuning in. Ian Cherry's tuned in, checking everything out. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Yeah, this course is absolutely phenomenal out here. Like I said, from the air, it looks like a really easy just Sunday drive. It is super technical, super tight, lots of gotcha. It's a very mental, a lot of off-camber. Almost all the corners are off-camber on the backside.
Yep.
It's going to be a fast, fun course, but you're going to have to pay attention.
That whole section they're running right there is off-camber. It's just how the track happened to lay in and what worked, so.
And again, like I said, how cool is it to have people tuned in literally all over the world into your? I mean, we're bringing new fans to Yellowstone off-road racing. You guys are bringing more fans to Ultra4 racing. It's just an awesome thing to have. And like I said, people from Europe tuning in, just absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. That would be Mark King still making his way through right there.
So again, everything we do say is unofficial, but it's looking like Lyle Hogue may pull down the 1600 win this morning, unofficially.
Shelby should be coming through here pretty quick. Sure, we'll chase her through that section.
Yeah, we'll have later on today, we'll have a total of 4 live drones all over this race course. There's the Rigid Ridge, looking good.
Looks like Sheridan pulled over there so Tyler could get by her. We said from what we heard on the radio, we can't see it from here, but what we heard was she's missing a wheel and she's going for it. And she's got not a long ways, but she's got a ways to go. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what's going on there.
There's a great shot of the AMSOIL hot pits. I believe we have just shy of 80 competitors that'll be taking the course today. That's a great shot, just showing you how vast this 10,000 acre ranch is. Again, huge shout out to Warren for letting us come out here and play on your ranch. Hopefully we'll get him in the booth here later on today and have a great chat with him. He's just a great character, just a good old farmer. Looks like that could be Harris, or sorry, Mark. Oh, sorry, Shelby McDonald, number 1620. Coming through the Amsoil hot pits.
So not only is Shelby coming through the hot pits there, it sounds like Sheridan's coming up the backside of the ridge there too, so she should be coming through pretty quick. From what we hear, she lost the front driver's side wheel and rotor, cracked the rotor, but
pushing through, that's awesome.
She's pushing through. Word was one of the track officials went up and said, "It ain't touching the ground, put her in gear and go." So she's off going.
That's cool.
Teaching these kids to never quit.
The never quit attitude is the racer attitude. You just got to keep on keeping on. Great shot. You see a lot of our cars will be racing later on today.
We got Shelby coming in, and she should be coming in for the checker flag, I believe.
So Shelby McDonald getting ready to hit the Can-Am start-finish line, getting the checkered flag. So she'll be physically finishing in second position behind Lyle Hogue. She did start in front of Lyle, so it looks like Lyle's looking good. So unofficially, it should be Lyle Hogue first, Shelby McDonald second. There's the Can-Am checkered flag.
Her total finish time there was 1 hour and 7 minutes. You guys can probably hear that chatter in the background. That's our track radios, our rugged track radios. That's how we're communicating, so we know who's coming and where they're at.
Grizz is running race ops. He's running the mic with me, so he's doing a little bit of everything. He may have to jump out of the announcing booth from time to time, but it looks like Tyler Leach grabs the checkered flag. But again, thanks, Grizz, for keeping me company here, buddy. Been a lot of fun.
It's perfect. It's a lot of fun.
And it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a fun day.
It
So
is.
Tyler Leach just finished his third lap. So he ran roughly 45 miles this morning. And now that machine needs to get back to camp, give it a quick look over, splash it full of fuel, and get back out on for this 10 a.m. race.
Probably do a tire check and throw some fuel in her and hope for the best.
The dust is lingering, hoping for a little bit of wind. Not a lot like we've had. If you're just joining us, we thoroughly appreciate it. This is the TDK Big Sky 200. This is a joint race. This is the first race of the Ultra4 North Series. We're joined with the Yellowstone Off-Road Racing Series. So we'll have a lot of different classes running throughout the day. Our next race kicks off in about 40 minutes. It'll be the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class, the 4600 Spider Track Stock class, and all the UTVs. So it'll be what do we have? 6 or 8 different races going on at the same time. It's going to be a little difficult to keep track of who's who, but we'll do our best, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll be calling out my guys, and Miles will be calling out his. It'll be hard to keep track, but it'll be a good time. A lot of action going.
Yeah, we'll have 40-plus cars on the course at the same time, I believe.
I think that's it. We'll have to double-check with Aaron, but there's a picture of the ranch house.
There's Warren's place.
Warren's place down
He's right in this beautiful valley.
Here comes Sheridan for the checkered flag, like we said, with minus one major component, and that would be a wheel. But she pushed through.
Yeah, excellent. It's just so cool to see. So physically finishing in third position in the 1600 class, missing that left front. That's awesome. I'm just like, she's got to be all smiles to make it around. That is great. They did leave in 1 minute increments this morning. Oh, here comes another one.
Zindler was right on her.
So Annalise Zindel. So physically finishing in 4th, but on adjusted time in my head, that'll put her in 3rd position.
Unofficially right now as it stands, of course it's all unofficial right now. We have Lyle in 1st, Annalise Zindler in 2nd, Shelby in 3rd. So Annalise made up some serious time.
So on adjusted time, Annalise unofficially just moved into 2nd position. Good for her. That is awesome.
So, yep, so it's looking unofficially. It's Lyle, Annalise, Shelby, Sheridan, and we're still waiting for Mark to finish his last lap.
And Paul did a DNF earlier, popped the motor, so tough break for him, but we're still looking for Mark King, and he was moving pretty good, and he started in last position, so on adjusted time, he could still shake it up a little bit. But unofficially, like Grizz just said, it looks like it's going to shake out to be Lyle, Annalise, then Shelby running out the podium. And you will throw him some cash later on today, into the evening?
Yep, we do the trophies and payouts later this afternoon or this evening, and trophies and awards during the award ceremony.
Yeah, usually we have LaserNut who gives out all the trophies, but we're using your guys this time. Who was that?
Metalworks. Metalworks did all our trophies, so did a wonderful job. A local company up here, just a local small company that does ultra trophy work and metal work for a lot of these racers, from gussets to etc. Do a great job.
There's one of our volunteers out there clearing course, making sure everything's okay. We still have Mark King out on course. But unofficially, for the 1600 class, it looks like it's going to go Lyle, Annalise, then Shelby. So the gals on the podium looking good. But they just couldn't quite chase down Lyle Hogue. There's a great shot of the Can-Am start-finish line. This is the first Ultra4 North Series race, and I think there's going to be a lot of strategy coming into later on the day for the Ultra4 crowd, going into national points. So everybody that showed up here, a huge shout out to you guys for making the effort to come race here up in Montana. Speaking about dedication, I got to give a huge shout out to John Grounds and Bailey Cole. They have raced every single race so far this season, and they expect to race the entire season. So Bailey Cole, John Grounds, good on you guys. The next race for Ultra4 is the Method Teardown in Tennessee at the AOP Off-Road Park, June 25th and 26th. And that is going to be the second race in the Eastern Series. We've also added Sturgis Short Course to the season this year during the 81st running of Bike Week at the Buffalo Chip. It's a redesigned course. JT, Goodby, and Bird have been on machines making that new track a lot of fun. This will be another dual points race. It'll be a West and a North Series race, and then Kid Rock will be playing on Sunday after we're done racing. We'll be back at Crandon, Wisconsin at the Big House September 3rd through the 5th over Labor Day weekend. That is another dual points race for the North Series and the East Series. Looks like Mark Harris is coming through, getting the checkered flag at the Can-Am finish line. So our 6th finisher, because Paul dropped. So Mark King gets the checkered flag at the Can-Am finish. So it'll put him unofficially in 5th position. So tough break for Paul Barron. He got a DNF with a motor issue. So again, this is still unofficial, but my best guess it's going to be Lyle Hogue 1, Annalise Zindler 2, Shelby McDonald 3, Sheridan Adams 4, and Mark King in 5th position. So a huge shout out to Tyler Leach in the youth. He got 1st place. So great job by all of these racers, guys and gals, out on course for this morning's race.
Yeah, looks like they're getting everybody lined up for the next race, so we should be going down with that pretty quick. That was the last driver is off the course now for that one. It was Mark King, last one coming in.
So it looks like we'll get this course cleared. We'll make sure everything's good. And we're about a half hour away from kicking off the next race at 10 a.m. Remember, everything is in Mountain Time Zone. This next race will have the 4600 Spider Track stock class, the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle modified class, and the 4900 Can-Am UTV class, along with Grizz. Who do you guys have racing this next race?
We have our stock class, our comp mod class, and our UTV classes. That would be the Turbo, the 1000 Production, and the RS1 class.
I believe your stock and mod are very similar to ours, so they should be a similar pace.
Yep. They're
and then the
similar.
UTVs are UTVs, so we just run one full class, but you guys have the 3 different classes, so it'll be a little tough to keep it figured out, but it's going to be a lot of fun out there on course.
It is. And just so everybody knows out there, we did get official word. There is one penalty on the course, so there was a penalty there. Missed a section of the course, not on purpose, of course, but he did miss it, so we do have to assess a penalty. So it might change something up. We'll have to wait till we get official word from Aaron on what it does. But
and it sounded like he wasn't able to pre-run, so he just accidentally missed it. So not on purpose, no DQ there, but we'll just give him a time penalty, and we'll see how that shakes out.
Yep, yeah, we'll have to see. That might move it back. So once Aaron gets all shaked out, we'll let everybody know. Should do that by the start of the next race. So, but yep, no, he just missed it, not on purpose. Got here late and wasn't able to pre-run, and with that new section we built down there, he missed that corner. So,
and up next you'll see some of our Ultra 4 cars. These are the Swiss Army knife of off-road. I mean, we race King of the Hammers, we race Moab, Crandon, we got short course, we race down in Mexico, Sturgis short course, Tennessee and Kentucky in the tight woods and the mud. These things can do absolutely everything. Huge rocks, mountains, short course, jumps, tight trees, desert whoops. These things can do it all. So it'll be a lot of fun to see how these guys go and gals. Be sure to tune in, ultra4racing.com/live. Use the King of the Hammers Facebook page, hit that share button, start a watch party. Go to the Ultra4 Instagram, hashtag it up, hashtag Big Sky 200, hashtag Ultra4 Montana, hashtag Ultra4 Racing, hashtag YORR. Nationals will once again be in Davis, Oklahoma for Ultra 4 again at the Crossbar Ranch. We're definitely bummed about the Wild West Motorsports Park being closed, but hey, life happens. They made the decision and we got to roll with it. We definitely have some great memories there, but again, a huge shout out to Trotter and Justin with Crossbar Ranch for accommodating us with Ultra 4 and letting us race there once again for the Ultra 4 Nationals. This is the TDK Big Sky 200. It's a joint race with Yellowstone Off-Road Racing. This is the first race for the Ultra 4 North Series. Give you kind of a full rundown of the Ultra 4 schedule. We have the Ultra 4 West Series, Sturgis, South Dakota, August 6th and 7th. The Eastern Series is Tennessee at AOP, June 25th and 26th. Then in Crandon, September 3rd through the 5th. The next North Series race will be Sturgis, South Dakota and Crandon. Then the Nationals will be in Davis, Oklahoma, October 15th through the 17th. The Great American Short Course Series that we Ultra 4 has helped out with, Hammer King Productions, Gas, will be the round 5 and 6 will be October 9th and 10th. Round 7th and 8th at Glen Helen will be November 13th through the 14th. And then Ultra 4 Europe schedule will be King of Britain, July 23rd through the 25th. King of Poland, September 10th through the 12th. Battle of Bovington, October 8th through the 10th. And you can get more information by following Ultra 4 Europe on Facebook and Instagram. And just a huge shout out to all of our Ultra 4 family for tuning in and watching the live feed. We saw Ian tuned in earlier.
We're good on commercial whenever you want to do it.
So while we get everything set up for this next race, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back to live racing action here in about 20 minutes. So we'll take a quick break right back after this.
4WP is more than a store. We're truck and Jeep experts and have been for over 50 years. From wheel and tire upgrades to full custom builds, 4WP has you covered. Whether you want to order the best parts online or shop in store, do the work yourself, or get it done by a pro, all roads lead to 4WP. Do your rig right. Shop online or find your store at 4WP.com.
I need it so bad.
It's not just a hobby. It's not just something we do on weekends. It's how we live every day.
Can we go out and play?
I needed to try. Needed to fall. I needed your love. I'm burning away. I need never get old.
There's still a few things Americans can agree on. The importance of speed, hard work, and the great outdoors. So we built a future for each of them. We electrified the Mustang and engineered it to get from 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Put a hybrid engine in the all-new F-150 that works as hard as it does smart. Then reimagine the Bronco as an off-roading, high-performance wild animal. This is the future we're building, and we're building it today.
Over 25 years of off-road racing dominance. Proprietary patented race technology. Proudly made in the USA. Unparalleled customer service and support. The choice of champions. King Shocks. The leader in off-road shock technology.
Welcome to TDK. The Throttle Down Customs, also known as TDK, here we build bumpers and frames for Jeeps and Broncos, and we ship products all over the world. Our bumpers are built right here in the USA, all in Moore, Montana, by skilled craftsmen. All of our bumpers are made from American steel. We have multiple finishes available, from powder coat to bedline to bare steel options. We have 10 to 15 different styles with lots of accessories for Ford, Dodge, Chevy, GM, Nissan, Toyota, Mercedes, Freightliner. If you're looking for a bumper or a frame, you can check us out at throttledowncustoms.com. See all the options we have to offer.
UTV 96 is inside this car here for the race.
We use the UTV 96 in this car. I'm using the VP UTV 96 fuel.
Thank you, VP Racing Fuels, for keeping me powered and getting me on top of the box.
When leading the pack, visibility is important. Perfect for any off-road application, the all-new rigid chase bar adds safety and functionality to any vehicle, combining running, brake, reverse, and turn signals into a 28-inch compact design. Choose from 25 pre-programmed effects with over 300,000 possible combinations. Built-in effects include strobe, scroll, and flash, fully customizable to any vehicle trigger. The rigid chase bar is the industry's most advanced rear-facing light, providing off-road enthusiasts one more way to own the night.
Excuse me. Do you mind being a motor?
What could be better than being a motor? The real question is, do you mind not being a motor?
I do.
For those who were born to ride, there's Progressive.
know, the thing that people don't realize about ARB is that they have been developing the parts as our series and our sport has grown to these new extremes. They keep evolving as the sport has evolved.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We changed the industry by formulating the first API-qualified 100% synthetic motor oil. The rest of the market has been trying to follow our lead ever since. But a head start is a head start. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond. Because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Welcome back to the 2021 TDK Big Sky 200. We're just outside of Broadview, Montana at the Old Cow Pie Motor Speedway. This place is absolutely phenomenal. We just finished up the 1600 and the youth race, so we'll bring up the official leaderboard for that. Here's the youth class. Tyler Leach ran 3 laps, super clean, and now that car's going to be racing in this next race as well. So great job. Tyler Leach got some great seat time. We ran the Yellowstone Off-Road Racing 1600 class. Official results are number 1, top of the box, Lyle Hogue. Number 2, Annalise Zindler. Number 3, Shelby McDonald. Number 4, Sheridan Adams. Number 5, Mark King. And a DNF for Paul Byrne. So great effort by all of those guys and gals racing out here. Up next, we'll kick off the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class, the 4600 Spider Track Stock class, and the 4900 Can-Am UTV class, alongside with the Your Series racers. The 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class can have 2.5 shocks per corner, limited to 14 inches of travel. Mechanical steering, maximum of a 37-inch DOT tire, front-mounted engine only, but unlimited horsepower. The 4600 Spider Track Stock class. Stock OEM frame must stay within 3 inches of the wheelbase. Stock engine, but may be replaced with any available engine in same year, make, and model. Must run the factory transmission. 35-inch DOT tire. Single 2.5-inch shock per corner. Factory-style suspension, like leaf springs, coil springs, TTB, whatever it came from the factory. Mechanical steering. This is a very close-knit group, so it'll be a lot of fun to watch those guys. So we have 3 competitors in the 4600 Spider Track Stock class. We have Alex Fleming, John Snell, and Josh Papp. In the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class, we have John Grounds, John Matthews. And then the 4900 Can-Am UTV class, we have John Coffey, Chad Martin, Curtis Freed, Greg Torney, Jacob Versey, Joe Gold. Joshua Smith was our pole leader. Mark Welch, Matt Peterson, Matthew Torney, Mike Slauson, Robert Taylor, Ryan Kummerfeld, Shane Smith, and Zachary Davis. We still have a lot of the Your UTVs that'll be racing with us. And we are going to race our own series for our own points, but we are going to mix them up. So for the Your Pro will be Ryan Roller, Jeremy Pulse. Sorry, that is for the Your Pro series. For the Your UTV Production 1000, Casey Welty, John Leach, Paul Leach, and Robert Taylor. For the Your RS1 class will be Tim Leach, Austin Boyd, Vance Peterson, Shane Smith. For the Your UTV Turbo, it'll be Josh Smith on the pole. Then it'll be Mark Welch, Mike Slauson, Austin Painter, Jacob Versey, Kyle Burkhart, Casey Septa, Tyler Gable, Curtis Freed, Greg Torney, Nathan Gold, Nathan Smith, Joe Gold, Ryan Cumberfeld, Aaron Kane, Matt Torney, Nathan Thompson, Zachary Davis, Corey Rogers, Bree Vigil, Chad Martin, Cale Baldick, Matt Peterson, and John Coffey. So we should have roughly 50 cars out on course for this next lap. So the stock cars will race 3 laps of just over 40 miles per lap. The 4500 and the 4900 classes will run 4 laps. So we'll be racing just shy of 200 miles. We'll be kicking off here in just a few minutes. We're hoping to kick off here very shortly. Everybody's getting lined up. We should be close to be going live race action. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is the TDK Big Sky 200. This race is located just north of Billings, just outside of Broadview, Montana. The population around here is roughly 200, and the elevation is 3,900 feet. This is a private a private ranch, 10,000 acre ranch owned by Warren. So a huge shout out to him. Speaking of a huge shout out, we could not be doing what we're doing without all of our main sponsors. So please support who supports the sport. We have to give a shout out to Can-Am, Ford, Bronco, Monster, Optima, 4-Wheel Parts, Griffin, Method Race Wheels, Lasernut, Warren, King Shocks, Amsoil, Holly, Boxo Tools, Yukon Gear, PCI Race Radios, Axial RC, All Balls Racing Group, Forest River, Progressive, Onyx Off-Road, Off the Grid Clothing, MBRP, VP Racing Fuels, HCR, Speed Straps, Savvy, Squatchbox, Impy, ARB, Rigid, Brannick, PRP, Factor 55, Action Sports Canopy, Spider Track, Spicer, and Dana. So without those guys, we would not be racing here today. So a huge shout out to all of our sponsors for making this possible. So we are just a few moments away from kicking off this next race. So I'll give you a quick rundown on how the Ultra4 Series points and championship goes. First place gets 1,000 points. Second place gets 975. Third place gets 965. Fourth on gets 5 less points. You must complete 2/3 of the race to get those points. And you do get 200 points just to start. 7 points do go to the pole leaders, like Jeremy Jones, Josh Smith, Bailey Cole, John Matthews, Alex Fleming. They all get 7 points for being the fastest qualifier. Series championship must race all 3 races of each series. So we have the East, the West, and the North this year. So I do think the North Series is going to play its toll for the national points. National points has to be King of the Hammers plus the Nationals and any 3 regional races. Top 10 non-qualified finishers at each race will get qualified for King of the Hammers. General rules are driver of record must start or finish each race. Driver must race the same car they qualify in. Minimum age is 16 years old. Drivers are allowed 1 substitute driver per season unless there's a medical reason. This is a no-chase race. Only Hammer King or your safety crew can help assist out on course unless a fellow competitor helps. Must stay on the 2-track unless you're passing. You are allowed 1 car width on this race. So those are just some of our general rules. Ford does have some contingency money on the line. For each regional race, there's $2,000 allowed if you're running a Ford power plant and the body or grill. Or if you're running either or, you get $1,000 if you win your class. So a huge shout out to Ford for that. But this is going to be a really long race, a really good race. They're going to be racing just shy of, we're racing just shy of 200 miles, and we have, I think, right around 50 racers on course. So I kind of just gave you the Ultra4 rundown. Grizz, give us your rundown on your classes.
So my classes will be the stock class, stock mod actually, comp mod, and then our 3 UTV classes. So in the UTV classes will be turbo, non-turbo, which is naturally aspirated, and RS1s. So this is a stacked field. We got 50 racers out there today.
On course, all at the same time. Dust will be flying all over this race course. We're just a couple minutes behind schedule, but we'll be kicking this off very, very soon.
Hello.
I believe we'll be kicking out the UTVs first, and then the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle modified class, and then the 4600 Spider Track stock class, along with the Your mods and stocks. Like Grizz just said, it's going to be a very stacked field. He's got a lot of his fast racers here. We have a lot of our fast racers here. We are racing individually, but on the same track at the same time. So the Ultra4 will be scored separately of the Your, but Your has stepped up, and if one of the Ultra4 guys does well in their prospective class, we get some of the prize money and a trophy. So again, thank you, Grizz, and the entire Yellowstone Off-Road Racing Series. It's been a lot of fun working with you, and it's cool, just joining forces and making it happen. And having our racers join yours, it just makes everybody faster. It makes everybody push, and it's just a lot of fun to have more cars on course at times.
Yeah, and a lot of my guys are more desert racer and stuff, so it'll be pretty interesting seeing the difference in classes here and how this is all going to play out on that and go from there. But this UTV class it's big, so it'll be really awesome to watch it. And then what we'll do is when we go to do awards, we'll break it down in the perspective class that we hand out in. So it'll be super interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see you on that end. Like you said, you'll give out the trophies and the prize money, but we'll on Ultra4 we'll score it separately on our website for the national points and the northern points. But we're gonna kind of race for the money.
Well, and just so you guys are aware, there's on this track, although there's 50 people, 30 of those are UTVs.
Yeah, it's going to be fast. Those things are so fast and nimble. We just got done racing down in Baja in a legit desert race. Well, this is very similar to a desert race. We race King of the Hammers up the side of a mountain. Well, there's not a whole lot of rock obstacles here. There's a lot of two-wheel drives in this race. So it's kind of a high desert race out here. But it's a fun, technical race. It's a long race. It's just over 40 miles. That's why we're calling it the TDK Big Sky 200 here at the Old Cow Pie Motor Speedway. Again, huge shout out to Warren for letting us come out here and race on his 10,000-acre ranch. The stock class will run 3 laps. Everybody else today will be racing 4 laps. So it's going to be a long, fun day of racing. And then at 4:30 p.m., we'll be shipping out the 4,400 Unlimited class and the Your Pros, and then the 4,800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class. I know Bailey Cole got the pole for 4,400, and Jeremy Jones got the pole for the 4,800. Who was the pro pole setter for the Your Series?
Ryan Roller.
And that was in that T1 truck, correct?
T1 truck.
And that's brand new seat time.
That's brand new seat time, but followed by him on brand new seat time was the TDK truck, driven by Rowdy. So he's a new driver, but he's been racing motocross for years and years, and seems those guys with that motocross cross-country background know how to pick a good line, and he did a good job.
A lot of the good racers come from motocross. Yeah, like you said, pick a line, you can just visually see it, and you can tell the driving strategy from a lot of these people. And speaking of strategy, I was walking through the pits yesterday. Sounds like most everybody's going to have to stop for fuel. They're going to stop at lap 2, lap 3. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the Amsoil hot pits.
Cannot, in these side-by-sides, especially in that one, you can get close, but I don't think you can make 3 laps on a tank of fuel, depending on what they got on fuel-wise. But most of them will have to stop for fuel.
At least once. And I think some of the bigger horsepower guys may have to stop twice because they're going to be drinking the fuel.
Yeah.
Pushing 700 horsepower. It's a 40-plus mile loop.
Yeah. It's going to
How big is your tank?
Yeah. Fuel strategy is going to be huge on this one today.
And it is the Amsoil hot pits just past the Can-Am start finish. And there's no speed limit. Slow her down, pull in your pits, do your thing. Look, hammer on, and race speed once again.
Makes it nice.
There's about a 20-foot buffer between racetrack and the hot pits.
There's a big buffer there. It gives you time to pull in and get her done. So really nice.
That'll show there's a lot of people out here with big pit support. There's a lot of people here with no pit support. So I heard there is a main pit here just past the start finish, and there's a remote pit on the back side of the ranch. So I've heard lots of teams strategize on who's going to stay at main pit, who's going to go to the remote pit. It's going to be pretty cool to see how this shakes out. I think we're just a couple moments away from taking off live action racing.